Alright, y'all, so I'm gonna talk about overwintering peppers. This here is my star, my Creola Cella pepper. This pepper here, I grew this pepper last year and I overwintered it by accident. And I know y'all gonna be like, what? By accident? How does that happen? Well, what happened is we got a frost and I had this and another huge habanero. And I thought that because after the frost, um, all the tops of the plant, all the leaves just drooped. It looked horrible. I thought it was dead. So I snatched my habanero out, but I left this one in. And the reason why I left this one in is because I did something that I'm doing now still. See this right here? This is a sugar snap pea. And I'm actually letting the sugar snap peas, there's some more in here. If you see them, right there. They're grabbing onto the pepper and they're using the pepper as a trellis. So naturally plants will want to seek the light. So they'll climb, especially stuff like this that climbs. It'll just climb this pepper and it'll climb right to the top and it'll get plenty sunlight. And it won't really block the pepper sunlight or nothing like that because these are dainty little plants. You can see there's another one in there. I didn't have such great germination rate on those seeds though, but it is what it is. So I thought my habanero was dead. I snatched it out, but I didn't snatch this one out because it had peas using it as a trellis, and I didn't want to pull the pepper and damage the pea plants. So I just left it. And those peas made it all through the winter. And then when the spring came, and all these branches, like you see these branches here, they're green. They were all brown. They looked dead. And I'm like, when the peas are done, I'll pull the peas, the peppers and all, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking it's dead. Well, no, then at the base, I started to see some new growth coming out. Some new limb. And I'm like, is that pepper growing out of there? And it was. It was down at the base. It had killed everything down to the ground. But down at the base, down here where those come out at, it just started growing a new limb out of that. And I was like, oh wow, this pepper is alive. And I immediately thought about my habanero that I had pulled out because my habanero was bigger and more impressive than this. And I was like, oh no, my habanero was probably alive too. And I'm still kind of kicking myself for that because I'm almost 100% positive that that plant was alive. But excuse me while I pull weeds and stuff. All this little trash. But yeah, so that's how I accidentally overwintered it. Now, once it came back, I noticed how fast it grew because it was one of the first things to emerge. It grew so fast, like the limbs, and it started putting on flowers way faster. Why? Because the root structure was already there in the soil. When that root structure is already there, your plant doesn't have to worry about building roots. And anybody knows anything about peppers, they germinate slow. Um, they germinate slow. They just take a long time to grow. A lot of times they take a long time to put on peppers. Especially if you're using a more organic or natural way to do the peppers. Now, if you fertilize the hell out of them or whatever, yeah, you can get them to speed up. But still, even then, like I said, they germinate slow. There are some climates that are ideal for peppers and they do better. But my peppers just always usually are just a little slow. So, but this year I had peppers before I had anything else. And I noticed last year I harvested a lot off this plant, but this plant was way more robust this year than it was last year. More flowers, more blooms. I harvested, that harvest video y'all saw me do, I harvested off this pepper 7 times the same amount of peppers. 7 times. I'm not joking. I didn't show all the harvest because you get tired of showing the same stuff over and over and over again. It's like you saw it the first time. But yeah, I got that amount of peppers off this plant 7 times. And I mean, that's 3 that's ready right there. This one. And you can harvest them green. I tend to like to let mine go all the way. There's one in there. I mean, they're just kind of all over, but a lot of them are green. Here's another green one up here. Now, has it slowed down since it's cooled off? Yes. Why haven't I just go ahead and prune back the limbs and cut them back? Because it's not going to hurt the pepper to let it do what it do. You have to think about in nature. There's nobody doing all this pruning and all this stuff. Like, I mean, I get it if you're retired and you just have time to do all that. Or if that's just something that you like to do, that's fine. Me personally, I like the more natural approach. And I get it, sometimes new gardeners are so excited that they just have to feel like they're doing something in the garden. Like they have to feel like they're just, I have to feel like I'm accomplishing something. That's cool, but, you know, spread your energy and time out wisely. If your pepper ain't went to sleep, it may not. Um, if if it still wants to produce, let it. Get the peppers. Like, that's what you're growing it for. You're growing it for the peppers. It's not gonna hurt the plant. Whenever this plant, like for instance, if a light frost comes, it's gonna kill all these leaves. Now if you look down toward the bottom, I don't know if y'all can see that or not. If you can see how you have some kind of browning of the limbs and stuff, it almost looks like they have bark, and I can show you better on another pepper. Let me go show. I'm gonna show you on another pepper what I'm talking about. Peppers are not trees, but their stems do lignify. And what that means is lignin is the fibers are almost, it almost starts to get a bark like consistency to it. And that's actually the toughening of a tree. Like if you ever see a citrus fruit, it does this as well. See how it's all green up here? But see how it gets closer to the bottom where it's older, it's tougher. It's almost like it's getting a bark. Like I said, peppers are not trees, so technically it's not bark. Look at that freaking slug. Anyway, but yeah, these are poblano peppers. I have two here. And see, these peppers were started this year, and they were very slow to germinate, which is normal for poblano seeds, as well as hatch. I have hatch over there too. I'll show you that too. This is a poblano here. It's actually pretty small, but I'm actually gonna let this get as big as possible for seeds, just in case something happens. And it is still making flowers here. But yeah, so it took all season. These peppers just started making peppers about, let me see, I think I saw the bloom for this one a month and a half ago. And it's November, people. It's November. So peppers, for me especially, just take a long time. And I don't think it's just for me, because I noticed a lot of other people, their peppers take a long time. So if my pepper took this long to get to this point where it's making fruit, why would I pull it? Why would I pull it and kill it? Now, I understand some people might say, well, my peppers don't take that long. True, but think about it like this. If you had big, beautiful pepper plants and you just ripped them all out, you could have had peppers in April if you had just left them and overwintered them. That's how fast they grow, people. I'm telling you, by April probably. Especially like if you live in anything Tennessee and down. If you live in any zone 7 down to 10, yeah, you can have peppers in April. Like, that's how fast they grow when their root system is already established. This is a hatch pepper. These peppers are notoriously, their seeds don't germinate well. And I'll be honest, I got these seeds from a grocery store hatch chili. And they just really started making flowers a month ago or so. This is the biggest pepper I have on it. Now, I'm not going to complain, but I'm still going to overwinter it. Now, I see a lot of people digging up their peppers to overwinter them. You can do that. Now, let me give you my advice on that. If you live in anything 7 whatever, don't matter if it's A or B, 7 and down. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's no need for you to dig up your pepper plants. No need. Now, you can. There's nothing wrong with doing it. So if you've already done it, it's fine. But there's no need for you to do it. I'm going to explain why. In those growing zones, we don't get enough freezing to where the ground freezes. Now, I'm going to tell you my only exception. If you are growing your pepper in a relatively small pot or something like that, that may freeze on you. If you get 2 or 3 nights where it's going to get below freezing, let me show y'all what I mean. If you get 2 or 3 nights where it's going to get below freezing, that pot may freeze on you. And I'm going to do a video talking about frost protection and all that kind of stuff. Just like, say, these pots here. A pot that size, oh, the lizard, I didn't even see him. A pot this size will probably freeze on you. So you don't want to leave that out in the freezing temps unless you're going to frost protect it. What can you do to frost protect it? You can put leaves and stuff all around it. You can put pine straw all around it, pack it all on top. I mean, completely freaking cover it. And you may be okay. But if it's in a pot like that, just go ahead and take it in. If it's in a raised bed or something like this, I don't recommend you dig it out. Why? Because I feel like you're just wasting your time. The roots most likely are not going to freeze. Now, will it probably kill this all the way down to the level of the soil? Probably. But it's fine. What you're trying to do is preserve the roots. You're not really trying to preserve the top. If you live in a tropical climate, then of course you can preserve the top because you're never going to get snow anyway. Or you're never going to get cold enough anyway. And if you don't get a frost, because like last year, we got a frost, but it really wasn't. We got like 1 or 2 frosts, but it really wasn't. It really wasn't a frost. Because it really didn't get below freezing and stay below freezing to really do enough damage. Of course, it'll kill stuff like tomatoes. Tomatoes are very sensitive to frost. Peppers can be, but I'm going to tell you what probably happen. It'll probably kill all the tips up here. But these thicker stems will probably be okay. Because the more woody that this is, the more hardy it is against frost. That's why trees can take frost and it doesn't kill them. It's hard to freeze into something that's already very hard. Think about a tree trunk, how hard the bark is, you know what I'm saying? So the more you have more of that lignification, just like, let me show you all on this kale, same thing. These stems are very, very, very hard. I never have a problem with frost. I don't even cover these, ever. These have been through an ice storm. These kale are 6 years old. Five or six, something like that. They're 5 or 6 years old. They were Bonnie starts. I thought they were going to go to seed. They never went to seed. It is what it is. They've been through ice storms. They've been through cold. They've been through frost. They've been through 16-degree weather, all that. They don't freeze because the stems are hard. It's the same thing with this. Let your stems lignify. Let them get hard if you can. Me personally, I see a lot of people pruning down. I don't prune mine down. I'll let the frost prune it for me. What do I mean when I say that? When the frost comes, I let it kill what it want to kill. When they come back to life in the spring, I'll see what's alive and what's not. If any of this stuff up here is dead, I'll cut it off. I'll leave all the living stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'll let nature prune for me. I know some people is real OCD about how stuff look. Can y'all tell I don't care how stuff look? If I cared how stuff look, I wouldn't grow in the jungle. But say what you want, I get productivity. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all tell me. People talking about, oh, I can't take the vines. I can't. And that's cool. I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying, I don't have that, whatever that is in me that bothers me. I think it used to, when I used to try to, oh, you know, you want it to look like Better Homes and Gardens and all these magazines. Screw that. Nobody lives like that. Real people don't live like that. Real people with real productive gardens and farms and things, they don't live like that. It just is what it is. So, you know, the faster you realize that, the better off you'll be and the more productive you'll be. Just like you see these tomatoes, a lot of people run through here and be real anal about plucking all that off. I don't give a fat rat about that. Is it? I mean, you know, tomato. You know, it's just like, and it's tomatoes all through here, and people walk past here every day. How do you still have tomatoes? Everybody, because people stupid and pull their stuff. They don't realize your tomatoes to start back making. All you gotta do is wait till it cool off. You know, people just don't like to wait on nothing. You know, we have such an instant gratification type society. So, so yeah, what else? Oh yeah, the overwintering the peppers. So yeah, I let nature prune the peppers. I don't really prune them because, like I said, I don't know what's gonna come back and what's not gonna come back. I don't know what's gonna be dead and what's not gonna be dead. So, I mean, like, say for instance, maybe we don't get a frost. Shoot, that pepper will never die back, will it? And that's cool because in the tropics they don't die back. It's not gonna hurt the plant. You know what I'm saying? So, when all else fails, find out what a plant just naturally does. And once you find out what a plant will naturally do, then let that be your guide instead of trying to you forcing to guide everything, or you just doing what you see people do on YouTube. Or because I'm gonna be honest, I'm the type of person, when I see somebody do something, I automatically question it. It's not because I doubt them. It's just that I'm just a curious type. You know what I'm saying? I was like the kid on it was a baby, it was a cartoon, and they would say, and she'd be like, "What you doing?" And they would say what they was doing. And they'd be like, she'd be like, "Why?" And they would say that, and she'd be like, "Why? Why?" And she would just keep saying why, and her parents would get so pissed. That's the type of person I am. You know, I always question, like, why, you know, just curious about why. And then if it doesn't make sense for my scenario, I don't do it. It's just that simple. I don't knock nobody. You do what you want to do, but that don't work for me. You know what I'm saying? So pulling tomatoes when I still could be getting tomatoes in November, that don't work for me. Now if you don't like tomatoes, then don't grow tomatoes. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's just that simple. But you know, for instance, I don't know who that was. Digging up turmeric when we've had no frost, and it still could be making rhizomes under the ground. Digging up peanuts when we've had no frost, and there's no frost in the near future. You see, like, just let nature do its thing. Now if you up where it's snow and stuff, yes, pull your peppers and put them somewhere. Put them in a pot. Put them in a greenhouse. And even if I did that, I still wouldn't prune the limbs. I'm gonna tell you why. I will let nature tell me what's gonna die and what's not. So once I put it in a greenhouse, if it gets so cold in there, you notice that limbs and it done drooped, and don't worry about it. As long as the roots didn't freeze, you're gonna be good. Wait till the spring, see what comes back. Everything that stays brown that don't come back, cut it all off. You know, that's just how you do that. Cause that's what I did to this. When it started coming back, it died. It killed it all the way to the ground. When I saw the new limb coming out and nothing else was living, I cut the whole top off. It regrew all of this in one season. That was all the way down to the ground. And that started as one limb. Once I saw the one limb coming out, nothing was coming out at all, the old stuff. I cut all the old stuff off. I just cut the whole top off. Pull the peas, like I said, because peas were on it. The peas were dead. Pulled all them. Other branches came out. About 5 or 6 different branches came out. It's all good. To protect it from the frost some, you might want to mulch it down. You can mulch it down with pine straw leaves, hay, straw, whatever you got. If you want to put frost blankets over it, whatever you got. If you want to just to make sure the roots don't freeze, you can do that. It's no problem with that. But yeah, and keep in mind that you can bury peppers a little bit deeper. They're not like tomatoes. Don't bury the whole plant. But you can bury pepper stems a little bit deeper. They will actually grow roots on the stem a little bit. Not like tomatoes, but a little bit. So if you have to bury it a little bit, don't worry about it. You're not going to kill it. If you have to bury it to mulch it a little bit, you're not going to kill it. So, yeah, I think that's about it on my overwintering peppers. So I just want to put this out there. Anybody got any questions, any videos they want me to do it? Because people seem to like this little series where I give information about particular plants or whatever. Anybody got any suggestions or stuff that they want to know about that they think I might know about? Leave it in the comment section. And if I know about it or if I got any input on it or whatever, I put it up there. If I don't know enough about it to do a video on it, I'll simply tell you I don't know enough. Consult somebody else. Look at this. Once again, I keep telling people don't pull on tomatoes. If you like tomatoes, you better not pull them. Let me see. If you like tomatoes, you better not pull them. I got tomatoes everywhere. And they probably gonna ripen because I don't see no frost no time soon. I'm looking at about 15 tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they just everywhere. Speaking of, ought to be something ripe in here. These are the black cherry. That one busted. Got too much rain and busted. It's not bad per se. I get it to Iris. She likes her tomatoes pre-popped. I don't know what the dish. She doesn't like the popping in her mouth. But anyway, Y'all give me some input if it's anything I want to know about or whatever. Want a video on? Y'all let me know. Look at all that. Yeah. Until next time. Me and Felix. We'll see you guys later.